So this is Tireless Tribe combo, or commonly called Inside Out for the, well, namesake card. This is a weird and interesting deck, but it is really freaking cool. It is really sweet. So, if you haven't seen this before, what we're looking to do is we're looking to play Tireless Tribe. This is the most important creature in the deck. It is 1 mana, 1 white mana, for a 1/1 human nomad. And what we're looking to do with this is abuse the activated ability on it, which is discard a card to have Tireless Tribe get +0/+4 until end of turn. So if you were to discard, say, 5 cards to this, it becomes a 1/21. Okay, so how are we going to win the game? By giving it 21 toughness. It's not going to do anything. Well, here's the thing. We use Inside Out to switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn and draw a card. So if I'm right in saying this, now this is all down to like layers and stuff, but if I'm right in saying this, if we cast Inside Out and draw the card off of it and then discard it to Tireless Tribe, it will still pump toughness. So, it will pump toughness, but because power and toughness is switched, it will actually pump power. So it's a weird one. It's a very weird one. And basically what we're looking to do is set everything up so that we can attack with one big swing, hopefully, preferably, one big swing with the Tireless Tribe to win the game. Now, there are a number of ways in which we're going to do this. First of all, we need to make sure this is a kind of deck where we need to have a lot of cards in our hand. Like, so a discard style deck will be very, very bad for us to face because we need cards in hand in order to do this. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that nearly every card that we play draws a card. So we have a bunch of card draw spells. We have 2 Tragic Lessons. So this is a Tragic Lesson and Mystic Sanctuary deck if you haven't seen this before. Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield untapped if you control 3 or more other islands, and it's an island of itself. And when it enters the battlefield, you can put target instant or sorcery from your graveyard on top of your library. So Tragic Lesson allows us to draw 2, then discard a card unless you return a land to your hand. So we can play Mystic Sanctuary, put a spell back on top, cast Tragic Lesson, draw that spell and another card, and then return the Mystic Sanctuary to our hand, and then that has us up 3 cards in hand, which is quite sweet. So we're going to be using stuff like that to generate, like, and you can also loop that. So you can then replay the Mystic Sanctuary, put the Tragic Lesson back on top, draw it again, do the whole loop all over again. So that's nice. We've got 2 Brainstorm to help us sort of find our pieces and everything, and we have a number of fetches in the deck. We have 2 Ash Barrens, 4 Evolving Wilds, and 1 Terramorphic Expanse. So that's 7 fetches, so we'll be able to brainstorm, put some stuff on top that we don't need, and then we can fetch it away, usually, if we want to. We also have 4 Preordained, so scry 2, draw a card. We have 4 Augur of Bolas, so we have a lot of instants and sorceries in this deck, so this will almost always hit. And then we've got a couple of interesting ones. We have Muddle and Mixture, counter target instant or sorcery spell, and 1 Dizzy spell. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Now, we're not using them usually. We're not using them for the ability on them, like the actual spell itself, but rather transmute ability. So transmute is you pay 1 blue in this case and discard that card. So in this case, Dizzy spell. We can search a library for a card with the same converted mana cost as that card, as the card that we've discarded. Reveal it and put it into our hand. With Dizzy spell, we can tutor up Tireless Tribe. If we have Tireless Tribe, we can use it to tutor up, say, a Preordained, or probably more importantly, a Shadow Rift, which we'll get to in a moment. And with Muddle and Mixture, we'll be able to search up Inside Out. There are other applications to it as well. There are other couple of cards in the deck, like Seeker of the Way and stuff, that we can tutor up as well if we don't need the Inside Out, but we need something else to maybe grind out a bit. Like I said, Seeker of the Way, 2 mana 2/2 with prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets lifelink. So this is another way to sort of help grind out, have an alternate win condition in case the Tireless Tribe plan doesn't work out for whatever reason. Say we're against discard and that kind of thing. We can instead use Seeker of the Way to sort of start chipping away, get some value. Now, in order to get this through creatures, we need to make sure that we can actually do that. And the best way that we can do this is by using, like I said earlier, Shadow Rift. So Shadow Rift is 1 blue mana for an instant. Target creature gains Shadow until end of turn, draw a card. So Shadow can only block or be blocked by creatures with Shadow themselves. And in Pauper, that's basically no creatures. So we have that. That's basically gives it unblockable, essentially. And then after that, we've pretty much only got ways to protect ourselves or the combo. So we have 2 Dispel, just counter target instant spell for 1 mana. It's nice and cheap. We have 4 Circular Logic. This is a sweet inclusion and a very synergistic piece with Tireless Tribe. So it's 2 and a blue for an instant counter target spell unless its controller plays 1 for each card in your graveyard, except it has Madness for 1 blue. So you discard this to Tireless Tribe if your opponent tries to kill it. You discard this, you pay 1 blue. You now counter target spell unless his opponent pays 1 for each card in your yard. So you get a 2 mana discount by discarding it, which is sweet. So we have 4 of those. That's our primary sort of piece of protection. We then also have 2 Prismatic Strands to prevent all damage that sources of the color of your choice would deal this turn. And it has flashback, tap an untapped white creature you control. So you can use this to protect the Tireless Tribe from like a bolt or something, or you can, or Doomblade. No, not that's damage. Not a Doomblade. It doesn't protect from Doomblade. But say like it can block, and if your opponent tries to pump a creature or something like this, you can use Prismatic Strands to prevent that damage, that kind of thing. We then also have 1 Giga Drowse, which is blue for an instant with Replicate blue. So whenever you cast a spell, you may pay its Replicate cost any number of times. And for each time that you pay the Replicate cost, it copies the spell. So it's just tap target permanent. So if you're against sort of counter heavy decks or removal heavy decks, you can use Giga Drowse on their end step to tap all their lands and be like, well, now you can't interact. So I'm going to untap and I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to try and win. And finally, we have 1 Deprive, which is counterspell, except you return a land to your hand. So the land that we're hoping to return is Mystic Sanctuary. So this used to be a little bit more all in on the combo plan with Gush and Daze and Git Probe. But the way that it's been built now with the Mystic Sanctuary, the Deprive, the Tragic Lesson little sort of combo, the little loop, it's been able to sort of grind out a little bit better, particularly using the likes of Seeker of the Way and stuff as well. Now, there's one final card that you might not have noticed. You might have noticed in this list here, and it is the 1 green card that we are literally never casting. This is Whiteout. So it's 1 and a green for an instant. All creatures lose flying until end of turn. Why the hell are we running that? That makes no sense. Why are we doing this? Because it has an ability on it where if you sacrifice a snow land, which you can do at instant speed, and we're using snow covered basics over here, you can return Whiteout from your graveyard to your hand. So if you attack in and you discard Whiteout, right, it gives you +4/+0 onto Tireless Tribe because you've used Inside Out. You can then sacrifice one of your snow lands to return Whiteout to your hand and discard it again to give another +4/+0, which is pretty sweet. Nice little bit of tech. And then sideboard, we have 2 Gutshot in order to deal with unflipped Delvers and that kind of thing. We've got 2 blue Elemental Blast to protect against things like Bolt and stuff. 2 more Dispel against removal or counter heavy decks. We've got 1 Hydro Blast here, which is basically another blue Elemental Blast, slightly better, but we've 1 Piracy Charm to make an opponent discard a card, give something Island Walk, which can be quite relevant in this actually. Or give something +2/-1 so you can kill something off too. We've 1 Echoing Truth if we're against the likes of Elves. This is quite nice. Or anything that generates tokens. Stormbound Geist against Delver. Leave No Trace against Bogles and the like. Then 2 more Prismatic Strands and 1 Tathmos High Priest, because whenever we target this with a spell, we get to return creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So it's a nice little way to grind out if we need to. And that is the deck. So let's go into a quick game and see how we do. It's a silly deck, and honestly, I have not piloted this in a long time. So do not be surprised if I do terribly. So, it's very interesting. It's basically a mono blue deck, sort of, but the win condition is white, and that's it. But it's very sweet. It's very sweet. I really enjoy it. Just wait for a game to pop up here now. Okay, just gonna wait for a game to pop in now. Any moment. So there are a couple of cards that I found quite interesting for Pauper that have just been released, by the way. One I've noticed is very interesting, and I don't think it's going to show up because I don't think it's quite powerful enough, but we'll see. We'll see. And that is Ram Through. I'll bring it up on screen. Sorry. I'll bring it up on screen post game, but it's 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control, which is fine. It's a fight effect at instant speed for 2 mana. That's not that big of a deal. However, if the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So the first thing that I thought of there is, well, Rancor is in mono green Stompy, so that could be a thing. This is not quite what I want to see, but I'm gonna keep it for now. Not ideal, but this could be a terrible keep as well, just FYI. This could be just awful, and I just don't know. Okay. Oh no, Mono White Heroic. This Giga Drowse might be good at delaying our death by a turn. Come on, Lego Man. Okay. Gonna Deprive. Not great. I'm gonna lead with the Mystic Sanctuary because I don't know when we're going to get another land. Because this deck only runs 19 lands. So we've got 3 in hand already. This is not a great opener, to be perfectly honest. I'm sort of leveraging the Power Tragic Lesson here. Which, probably not great. Probably not great. Hey, Heal, please. Welcome along. It has been a while. How are you doing? Hope you're keeping well and safe in the old pandemic. But we're doing okay. We're doing fine here. Thankfully Ireland is very fine. There was an announcement a little while ago saying, listen, we're gonna have to extend the lockdown by 3 weeks up to May 5th. But like realistically, like anyone that thinks that it's gonna just be done by then is crazy. Like we're probably like everywhere in the world now. We're probably locked up for like, I'd say 2 to 3 months at this point, easy. You know, the reason that they're not saying that straight up is because they're probably afraid that people will freak out if they were to be like, yeah, so you can't leave your house for the next 3 months. But if they just take it every couple of weeks and be like, listen, chill out, it's cool, don't worry, you know, we'll just do this another couple of weeks, it's fine. We've done a few weeks already. It would be great, you know. It's good to hear you're doing good. Good. Yeah. I mean, like, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. I'm sick of being here. I like, as soon as this lifts, I'm camping out in my LGS. Like, I'm playing all the Magic I can. But, I mean, it's got to be done, so. Our opponent is really taking their time here. They could be streaming themselves, or, like I like to think, you know, if ever anyone is roping me on Arena or anything like that, it's always... I always assume that they have a plate of spaghetti and their dog jumped up to try and get some, so. Oh, we have some action from our opponent. Mono White Heroic has become quite popular lately, and to be honest, it's getting real good, and it's getting some real good cards as well. Have I stopped playing Arena altogether? No, I haven't. What I am doing at the moment is I'm doing quite a bit of Pauper content because a lot of people are now stuck at home and want to play Magic because they can't play it in their LGS or whatever, or with mates and that kind of stuff. So it sort of makes sense to be like, well, look, you want to play some... Man, what are they doing? What? Do they have like... If they have like 3 mutagenic routes in their hand, then I'll understand this line, but like... I definitely don't understand what they're doing. I feel like our opponent's going to shame concede after that. That seems ridiculous. They just didn't attack. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people are going on to the likes of Magic Online and stuff and being like, look, I don't want to play Arena because I like my Eternal formats, I like my Modern, I like my whatever, my Pioneer. And I'm like, but like, a lot of people don't realize that like, there's a lot of stuff in Magic Online, and there's an awful lot of stuff that's real expensive. Like a lot of Modern decks are up to 1,000 ticks, 1,000 ticks for cards that don't even exist. And that's kind of ridiculous. But like so many Pauper decks are like, so like all of them are under 100 ticks for sure, bar maybe like one or two of the obscure combo decks that run Lotus Petal. But like that's it. Like that's, yeah, like it seems like something that a lot of people, honestly I think that a lot of people will enjoy Pauper if they play it. They have a tendency to think like, oh well, this isn't actually all that great, you know. And I feel like our opponent doesn't know what they're doing here because they put that on post combat instead of what? I mean, I'm letting it happen, but it just seems real weird. They've just missed out on 2 points of damage there, but I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people would really, really love Pauper if they played it. So I'm just using this as an opportunity to be like, hey, look at this deck. It's real cool. Look at this. It's also real cool. I'm gonna play Snow Covered Island. I'm just gonna pass the turn. I'm not really feeling under a whole lot of pressure right now, so I'm kind of okay with this. Again, Giga Drowse will just tap their big creature down for one of the turns. So, yeah, there's been a misnomer of like people thinking that Pauper is like not powerful, and has been for a long time, but that's mostly just out of people just not understanding or not ever playing the format and just assuming, oh, all commons means it's gonna be crap, right? And they don't realize that like Bolt and Counterspell and stuff are all common, you know. It's great. Starting the drinks. Leanne's starting Good Friday off great. Quar wine teen. Okay,
what else am I going to do? Play Animal Crossing and
drink wine. Leanne's drinking fake wine and playing Animal Crossing.
Cooler.
West Coast Cooler Rosé.
It's a gentle wine. It's only 4%.
She calls it child wine.
It's for children. It is for children. It's booze for kids. Not that I would endorse such a thing before the internet comes for me and I get cancelled. It's a joke.
Apparently our landlord's outside.
What are they? He's old.
Alright, thanks for that. I'm gonna dispel this. I kinda don't want them to have another 2 points of damage there. I feel like that's unnecessary. Ill-gotten. Yeah, I've seen it a little bit for sure. I feel like I'm in a lot of trouble here. Oh, Leon can't get it open. You watch now before I show that I can't get it open either. Oh, never mind. Right, you getting real weak. I honestly thought you were better. For sure, legitimately. I was expecting that to be like an actual bottle of wine. That was like opening a bottle of Coke. There have been several points in life where Leanne has been stronger than me.
Oh, yeah. Did somebody pass a remark?
No one's passed a remark yet.
Oh my god. Well, get videos.
Do I muddle here and then Giga Drowse this on their turn? I think I muddle. Yeah, I think I muddle. And I think I'm going to get a Seeker of the way instead of Inside Out because that will allow me to do things. Yeah, things. Okay, pass a turn to our opponent. Let's say if they start doing crazy things like casting instant speed things in their main phase for literally no reason. I'm letting them attack here. If they have something, that's fine. But all things have pointed towards them not having it, so yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to be like, oh god, another planeswalker. You know, it's very, very enjoyable, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so ooh, double seeker. Okay, sure. Let's get down a seeker of the way. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna have to do this turn is how am I gonna do this? I think I have to Giga Drowse that. Then maybe the following turn play Seeker, hold up Deprive. That's a bit loose. Crown Sky, that's actually terrifying. Beginning of combat, I can actually just tap everything down. Replicate. Is this the number of replicate? Yeah, okay. So I'll replicate twice. Blue, blue, blue. Giga Drowse. Okay. Boop on boop. And boop on boop. Boop, boop. 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 Okay, cool. And I think what I'm gonna do here is what's the best way to do this? I think I'm gonna do this now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this now. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I tapped that wrong. I needed to have a snow-covered plains untapped. I can return it to my hand and play it. It's not ideal, but I wanted to return the Mystic Sanctuary so I can get the Tragic Lesson loop going, but yeah, made a mistake on that one. I guess I'll learn the hard way. This whiteout's feeling real bad right now. So depending on what I draw, if I draw my other planes, then I'll discard the whiteout instead of bringing a land back. Okay, I did not, so I instead, actually that works out because Augur Bolus now. So I think what I wanted to, this is questionable. Would you believe I don't even know what Battalion Foot Soldier does, and that's part of the beauty of Pauper to me. I think I'm gonna return the Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, I'll return Mystic Sanctuary, and I'll play Mystic Sanctuary. Put Tragic Lesson back on top. Actually, I could have returned Giga Drowse. I could have put Giga Drowse back on top and then Augur Bolus. And I also should have played Augur Bolus and put Mystic Sanctuary on top. So instead, now that's kind of ruined that. I'm making mistakes all over the place. All over the place. Okay, combat. Attack with Seeker. Regain me some life so that I maybe not die next turn. Yeah, I did everything exactly wrong there. I could have put Giga Drowse on top, then played Augur Bolus, which would have allowed me to then tap the big one this turn. But instead, I could have also played Augur Bolus, then the Mystic Sanctuary to put the thing on top so I'll draw it next turn. But instead, I'm a big dumb and now just essentially wasted my Augur Bolus ETB on getting the Tragic Lesson, which kind of sucks. Probably would have only gotten the thing anyway. That's not a big deal. Not that big of a deal, I don't think. Maybe. I could still be dead here. They could still have... They could just put an ethereal armor on a Crown Skyguard and I'm dead. That's legitimately a thing. So they seem to have drawn a land. So that's good. They have something though. They have a Cardouche of Solidarity. Yep. Sure thing. This is bad. This is really bad. So I can get 4 through this turn. This is not good. Not good for us at all. Feel like that was a mistake also. They just F6 through their turn. That was odd, but... Or maybe not. Actually, you know what? There is some sense in that, what they've just done. I think I'm going to Tragic Lesson. Prowess. Gain lifelink. Draw 2 cards, return a land to my hand. Or discard a card, for that matter. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to return a land to my hand. Play Tribe. Let me do some thinking here. This is going to sound weird, but I think I'm going to have to throw that Seeker of the Way to their death. No, it doesn't make sense because they first strike, so I can't do it. Oh, okay. This could go horribly wrong, but let's try it. Gonna put Gigadrez back on top. That's the best hope I have at winning here. So if my opponent... yes, please, definitely. If my opponent bricks their draw, I think I win. I think. I'm going to save that Preordained because I'll only be drawing the Gigadrez off it, and I need the Gigadrez for the following turn if I'm to win at all. Now, I know I could use the Preordained, waste the Scry on it, draw the card, and hold up the Gigadrez to tap down their big creature, but that leaves me open to potentially not winning the next turn, and I'm back in the same situation, or I do that, and then if I don't do it in their... If I don't Gigadrez the Trailblazer in their upkeep... Actually, if I don't Gigadrez the Skyguard in their upkeep, and I wait any later, they could have a Karametra's Blessing to give it protection. So, I don't know. This seems like a very weird one, alright. Honestly, I think our opponent should have won this, but I think they've accidentally skipped combat a couple times. Battalion Foot Soldier. Parent of events developed when you may search a friendly number. Ah, okay. I get it. There's another version of that. Something Conquistador. It was in Ixalan. What's it called? Let me see if I can find it. Legion Conquistador. There it is. Legion Conquistador. Same thing, basically. Yep. Sweet. Yeah, I remember seeing a deck like that where it ran 4... That's where I know Battalion Foot Soldier from. There's a deck that has 4 Battalion Foot Soldier, 4 Legion Conquistador, 4 Squadron Hawk, and I think there's another 1 or 2 creatures that have similar abilities, I think. And that's when I say it's a deck, I mean it's a real bad deck, because having like one of those as an option is really really good in the right deck, because it means that you can keep getting gas, you can keep generating something from your cards, which is good. But all of the effects in the one deck is like super over redundancy and is more of a meme than anything. But yeah, having the one is real cool. Having the one playset, or even just like 2 or 3 of the same thing, like something that basically says ETB draw me again, is pretty decent. This whole Lego man over here, they're taking a bit of time. Certainly taking a bit of time. A friend of mine just messaged me. I was like, so you know that thing called cycling? And then they just sent me a picture of Bag of Holding. Bag of Holding, if you don't remember, instead of discarding something into your graveyard, it goes into exile under Bag of Holding, and then when you sacrifice Bag of Holding, you get the cards back. So I'm gonna have to do some brewing. No format other than Pauper, you can use them. Yeah, I mean, and even in competitive decks, they'd be nowhere to be seen. Even what's arguably considered the best version of that would be Squadron Hawk, and even then, that barely sees play. But the point is that they're actually playable in the format. It's pretty good. Competitive wise, not particularly good. However, like, since when does competitive isn't the be all and end all of all formats, if you're playing a deck you like, that's all that matters. All that really matters. If it happens to be a competitive deck and that you win a lot with, then happy days. But it doesn't have to be. Hell, I'm playing Inside Out with 3 of its best cards banned, for Christ's sake. Awaken the Earthswell, that's gross. That is gross. Yeah, I'll be back on arena stuff very shortly. To be honest, like what I think I'm going to be doing is a lot of the time. First of all, I'm on Pauper, like I explained already, because of the pandemic and stuff, and people are starting to join. The Magic Online and stuff, so that's cool. So it's nice to have that content there. But I'm probably going to be going back to doing. I'll be on 3 streams a week, and I'll be okay. Cool, they timed out. Thanks, opponent. That was very sound of you. But yeah, I'll be back on arena content shortly. But until then, sorry, I'm just getting a couple of notifications that things are slowing down here. The old PC's having a bit of a problem. Yes, I'd like to play first. Yes. Ooh, that's a bad hand if ever I've seen one. Mulligan. Oh god. I think I'm gonna have to keep, and I'm gonna see. This feels terrible because I have to fetch blue, but my threat is in white, and I think that's part of the problem with this deck. I mean, I'm gonna pitch this because it's redundancy and it's 3 mana, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Bag of Holding is sweet. I really like it. I guess we passed the turn. You weren't a fan of the new Ikoria set? I saw Godzilla and stuff, and like I'm not big on kaiju myself, but I was like, the way that they did this crossover, it wasn't the fact that all of the Godzilla and Mothra cards and stuff, all of them are just essentially alt art versions. That's actually fantastic. I love this. the fact that they're actually alt-art versions of actual cards in the set. So yes, you can play with Godzilla cards and stuff if you want, but you won't end up with like competitive decks that have to have Godzilla in them or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I quite liked the way that was designed. It gave you the option, and more options is always good, you know. And like a lot of this stuff isn't for anybody, you know. Like I won't be going out of my way to try and get what do I want here? I don't think I need another circular logic, and honestly I don't think I want another land right now. That's actually frustrating, but okay. Yeah, so I like the fact that you can do these things, but you're not obligated to, which is nice. I like that. I ended up getting knocked off my train of thought. So okay, we're against Burn, and they are, by the looks of it, they're either relatively inexperienced Burn player, or they don't have a great hand, which can also potentially imply not a particularly experienced, I'm not saying bad, but not particularly experienced Burn player, because if your first play is turn 2 Thermo Alchemist, your hand's not great. And it's unlikely that they're on anything else, to be honest. So, I think I play out Seeker of the Way, and like I can't sit here and sandbag nothing in my hand. That seems kind of stupid, but play mostly creatures control decks. I can get that. I thought I used to be just like mad hard into one specific type of thing, in which case it was actually very similar, like creatureless control decks or low creature control decks. But at one point it wasn't New Year's just gone, and I'm not normally one for New Year's resolutions. Not New Year's just gone, but the New Year's before, I believe it was that. Yeah, I was hoping they didn't have the blaze, but they did. Alright, they blazing it. I made a New Year's resolution to learn to understand and appreciate combo decks. So I bought Fetchless Storm in Modern, pretty cheap, like dollar equivalent, about $230 thereabouts, $200 ish, and fucking loved it. I absolutely loved it. I fell in love, and yeah, that's where I started to move away from all these kinds of decks and stuff. So yeah, big fan. Okay, so I think we're actually pretty well set up here. I think I need to Dizzy Spell, Transmute, go get the thing. Okay, sure, deal 1 to me, that's fine. This isn't like Arena Opponent. If you just activate all your abilities now, it doesn't mean that you get to just not jump through the motions here. But I feel like this is going to be close, tight, very tight. Yeah, this ain't gonna be great. And I think, sorry, just to continue on the point of the decks that I, decided to start trying out and stuff. I then also wanted to keep playing in Standard because all of my friends at the time were playing in Standard and stuff, and I had settled on Mono Blue Tempo because it was real cheap and looked like it was kind of fun. And oh my god, was it fun! It is so enjoyable. I love it. There's a very real chance we're dead here, by the way, but however. But yeah, so I decided to give that a go and all this kind of stuff, and try it out, and I ended up finding out that I'm actually probably best at like tempo decks. I seem to just, like, I'm not claiming to be a very good player. I'm not. But I'd found that I just seem to have a good inherent understanding of tempo and the sort of the interaction back and forth between those. So tempo decks naturally sort of fit that bill for me, which was quite nice. If we don't draw a land here, that's actually fine because we can Tragic Lesson, return the plains, play a Tireless Tribe. That's kind of nice. So let's do that. That means our hand is nice and full and stocked for the following turn. So if we don't die this turn, we're kind of good. Return a land I control. Yeah, I'm going to have to, even though I have a snow-covered island in my hand. In order to play a creature, I'm going to have to. So, Tribe. Go. Okay, so the cards that I am willing to pitch here now are Snow-Covered Island and a Circular Logic in order to pump the toughness of them. I want to keep the Inside Out for obvious reasons. I want to keep the Tireless Tribe in case something goes horribly wrong. And I want to keep the Shadow Rifts because they replace themselves. So, okay, you're going to do one to me. Ban Calyx deck. You don't understand why more people don't use them. I think it's just because if you're in green, just play Nissa instead. It's kind of the thing, really. There's no real reason to do otherwise, I don't think. Where are you going? That's where I want to know. I'm looking forward to standard post-rotation so that we can see what things look like without Teferi Time Raveler or Nissa, who shakes the world. That's the standard I want to see. And before anyone says anything, yes, I am very aware that that we're about to get a core set. The next set we get is a core set that's based around Teferi, which means if it's based around a Planeswalker like that, it's almost definitely just going to be 3 creatures or 3 Planeswalkers of that featured Planeswalker, in which case we're going to have 3 fucking Teferis entering standard. But you know what? I'm very apprehensive, but I'm willing to be ready for the fact that maybe WotC saw that people really hate Teferi Time Raveler, and maybe they just don't want to see that in Magic anymore. Maybe. Who knows? Hopefully. Maybe. Oh no. Searing Blaze? Okay. So can I use this ability now, please? Okay. Going to discard a card. Snow-Covered Island. If that last card in hand is a spell, we lose. We have to discard another card anyway. Okay, we're not dead to that. But we do have to block this Lava Runner, which means I have to discard another card in order to... Oh, this is tight. This is real tight. Oh wait, it's the beginning of Enchanted Player's upkeep. Oh, and it's Enchanted me. I thought it was the beginning of their upkeep. My mistake. That was weird. They chose not to attack, but okay. Sure. Let's just hope they make mistakes. Let's just hope they make mistakes and just don't activate their Thermo Alchemists. Let's just hope. Okay. Go to combat. Come on. Oh, no, don't do it. They did it. Okay. We were literally on the win there. We were actually on the win. So we cast Inside Out. We draw a card. That means we have 6 cards. We discard all of them. Yeah, we would have won there. Absolutely would have won there. Okay, yeah, let's begin sideboarding. That was tight. That was very tight. So we got Hydroblast, Blebs, and honestly, not a whole lot else. Now, normally I would say that Echoing Truths is really, really bad against like aggressive decks. But forcing them to reset their Thermo Alchemists is not awful, and it does get rid of Curse of the Pierced Heart. But you're just even on tempo then. It's not actually that. Well, if you bounce more than one thing, then you're up on tempo. But I'd bring in Dispels. Dispels are handy because a lot of their things are. Actually, let me double check that. Because the burn lists. I know the burn lists in Modern are very instant heavy, but it could be slightly different here. Let's see. Chain Lightning sorcery. Spike is sorcery, so it's 4, 8. Yeah, there's enough. There's enough for sure. Yeah, we can. It can be used to counter Fire Blast and stuff as well. So, yeah, Dispel's pretty decent here. Cards I want out. What are the cards I want out? Honestly, I think the likes of. This is a tough one. I think Giga Drowse is unnecessary in this matchup. I think these tutors are actually just no, not this one. Muddle and Mixture. I think the tutors are too slow in this matchup. Augurs are great. I'm not hugely wild on the Brainstorm here, but I could be wrong. Brainstorm isn't particularly good here. Well, no, it could be. It could actually be maybe. I'll get rid of a Circular Logic. Actually, I think I'll get rid of 2 Circular Logics. I think they're just better as Dispels or Bebs. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems right. We're not taking out bad cards necessarily. We're just taking out essentially kind of weaker versions of the cards that we're bringing in. So I can Snow Covered Island cycle. We're probably gonna have to cycle for another island, which isn't ideal. My thoughts here are between cycling Ash Barrens or casting Preordained. Cycling Ash Barrens guarantees us a second land drop, which I think I'm actually better off with. I think. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to just pass the turn because I can do it on end step. This lets me hold up a Dispel if they happen to have anything funky that I don't particularly like the look of. So their ideal start would be like just a spike or something, and then the next turn Lava Runner, another 1-mana spell, and then attack. Okay, so they have a Rift Bolt. That's fine too. Basic land cycling. And honestly, I think I'm actually going to go for the planes here because it'll allow me to cast things when I need them, as opposed to, like, I'll be more likely to draw into these with a Preordained than I would otherwise. So, and I mean, like, that's kind of close enough too, right? So let's get an Augur down. If they want to kill the Augur, I am A-okay with that because it means 3 less damage at my face. Basically a Time Walk. I'm going to take the inside out. Any order. This weird old deck. It feels like Burn's a hard match because they just put you under so much pressure. Okay, opponent, let's see what you got. Might actually play Burn on here against him because Burn in Pauper, honestly, it's closer to Legacy Burn than it is to Modern Burn. It's mono red. It's got broken ass cards. They are looking to kill Augur. That tells me that they either have some Firebrand Archers or they have some of the Get-To Lava Runners, because they obviously want to attack in. Yeah, here we go. And if they don't have another land this turn, that is unreal. Yes, that is fantastic. So that basically gives us another turn. They've spent 2 turns so far not doing a single thing to us, which is very nice. Very, very nice. I think we're actually in a pretty good position to potentially win the game next turn. Depends on what we get here. Whiteout's real good, actually, but I think I need to bottom it for now, because I think I need to draw. Let's get a Tireless Tribe out. Do we need to play this land at all, actually? Let me think. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it because next turn I can Deprive and bounce it back to my hand if I need it. Yeah, that's kind of okay. I'm okay with discarding Prismatic Strands to pump it up as well, because then if they try to respond by using something else to kill it, it means that I can flashback Prismatic Strands by just tapping Tribe, which is quite nice. Means that we're not down another card. So I'm good with this. Yep, I'm going to discard Prismatic Strands. Okay, so we can't really do a whole lot right now because we don't have a lot of cards to draw. But this turn we can start. This turn coming, we can start being a bit more controlling, I suppose. We have 3 decent counterspells against them here in hand. I'm happy to take 2. If I'm on 18 on turn 3, the burn player's in trouble. Now, watch as I say that and then just lose this game anyway. Okay. Okay, what we got? What we draw? Falling Wilds. Do I want to play it? Probably not. So how much can we do here? If I cast, can we win? I think we win. I think we win. So I believe the way it works is we can do this. Switch Power and Toughness to land a turn. And draw a card. We should be able to do this and then... yeah. So they could see that we have 4 cards in hand. What's going to happen here, by the way, is we have 4 cards in hand. This switches Power and Toughness. Every time so we'll have 5 cards in hand. Every time that we discard a card, Tireless Tribe gets +0/+4. But because of the way layers work, it switches Power and Toughness, so it actually technically gives us +4/+0. So this will end up attacking, if we discard all 5 cards, it will attack as a 21/1, and they're completely tapped out in every way. So that was pretty good, actually. That was pretty good. Sometimes this just kind of wins YOLO out of nowhere as well, which is quite nice. Like there, it really felt like I was just trying to dig for combo pieces and didn't find anything, and then suddenly I won the game. So I'm gonna keep this because we can get all the lands we need. This is fine. Okay, so what I was going to say is I wasn't sure if I wanted to Snow-Covered Island and Preordained or Snow-Covered Island and Ash Barrens again, but the fact that we've now drawn the plains means I don't need to go looking for it yet. So Ash Barrens kind of doesn't matter. What do we do here? Honestly, I think we... As weird as this may sound... No, I'm gonna go Island and Preordained. Screw it. We need to find stuff. There's no point in us dawdling about. Bottom. Dispel. Dispel's fine. We basically have 2 1-mana counters here, so that's not the worst. Not the worst. Okay, so if they just go land, Lava Spike, Chain Lightning or something like this, then we're in a lot of trouble because that's going to be 8 damage. It'll pump the Lava Runner to a +2 or 2/2. Having one of those and then Yeah, our opponent is keeping landlight hands, which, to be fair, you know, with burn sometimes you have to be kind of greedy. But yeah, it unfortunately just seems to not be working out for them very well. So let's see, drawing a lot of lands here, an awful lot of lands. Kind of want to just leave these up and then end step cycle the old Ash Barrens, I think, because this allows me to dispel one thing and then blow up one of their lava runners, which feels pretty good. Combat. I'm best off just doing this now, because there's no point in holding on. I'm going to take the damage anyway, so may as well just get rid of it. If they have a red elemental blast or a pyroblast, no, they don't. If they did, the dispel would have been a huge blowout for them, because it meant that they would have been down a few cards and they would have had trouble getting back. But we'll see. Needle drop. I'm actually inclined to counter this so they don't get their second land. Nice. Oh, that felt good. Not gonna lie, that felt pretty good. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Brainstorm might be nice here, actually. Baron's all bottom. So let me see, I haven't played a land yet. So I can play a land, Brainstorm, and then cycle away with Ash Barons. Yeah, that seems real good, actually. Yep. Just like how Legacy taught it up. So I'm going to Brainstorm first. Do this first of all. Okay, I'm happy to have 2 tribes in hand and a Prismatic Strands. So I'll get rid of an Inside Out. I don't think I need the Mystic Sanctuary either. Actually, do I need the second tribe? If they just start pointing burn at the tribe and I'm discarding cards to protect it, I think I'm just in a great position. Yeah, with the Prismatic Strands, I think I'm actually fine to get rid of a tribe here. Then I'm going to play a Plains, cycle, get an island so I can play the Mystic Sanctuary and put something back on top. Yeah, this feels real good. I know our opponent's going to like have open board to hit us here, but it's turn 3. I'm on 18 and they've 1 land, so they're not doing as well as they want to be. That's for sure. I was nice though. I left them with the foil lava runner. No, I don't want to copy this. It's fine. It is nice to see that they are very heavily choked on lands here. It's going to be good for us. So all we really have to do is just sort of wait it out a bit, and then we're kind of golden. Okay, another land. Not perfect, but it's fine. Get another island down. Pass the turn. If they attack, can we win next turn again? Is this deck just that ridiculous? Feels like it. Beginning of combat. Sure. I'll take my beats. Oh, they're not attacking. They're not attacking. Okay. That's a hell of a pickup. Oh, how do I do this? I think I want to cast Tragic Lesson, right? So I'll do it like this. Alright, I'll pick up the Plains. pick up the planes. I'll play a Mystic Sanctuary. I'll put Tragic Lesson back on top. Use its ability. Yeah. And then I'll just pass the turn. So I've upped the number of cards in my hand by 1. I'm gonna draw another, the same Tragic Lesson, but another one. That will allow me to go up another card, which means I'm allowing myself more leeway, basically. Excuse me. Sure. Go ahead, opponent. Mystic Sanctuary is a dumb card. A really, really dumb card. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like it, but I don't know if it's quite the good thing that Pauper needs right now, to be honest. Okay, so surprise, surprise, we drew Tragic Lesson. I'm gonna main phase this. Draw these. Return a land or discard a card. Do I want to return a land, or do I want to keep the lands there now that I have a Mystic Sanctuary in hand? I think I'm going to discard a card. I think it's gonna be just a regular island. Then I'm gonna play Mystic Sanctuary, and I'm gonna put. Oh, I guess I can put. I think. I could put Brainstorm on top to try and get better stuff, but I think I still just want to keep looping this for now. Yes. This is another time where I should have preordained first. Now I'm not going to waste it, but it's okay. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Okay. I've got a Dispel to protect it, which I think I prefer over discarding it to Tireless Tribe, but we'll see how it goes. So the other second land, I'm expecting a Blaze here. Chain Lightning at my face. Sure, I can't copy it, and I can't dispel it, so that's fine. I guess I'm dealing with that. I've got a weird feeling that they're going to try Bolt Fire Blast us here, and the Dispel's going to got him, like, real hard. I could be wrong. So. Okay. I have to be very aware of my life total right now as well, so. What do I want to do? I'm going to Preordained first. Preordained first, see what we got. Actually very good. Actually pretty good as well, actually, but yeah, I'm gonna put that on top as well. I'm gonna draw it. I'm going to Tragic Lesson. Return Mystic Sanctuary to my hand. Play a Plains. Play Seeker of the Way. The reason I'm playing Seeker of the Way now, even though I have no mana up, is because I'm trying to bait them to target it and not the Tireless Tribe and depleting my resources available. However, I can at any point discard Prismatic Strands to Tireless Tribe and just name red and be kind of golden for the whole turn. So, which actually I might do this turn. Might stop in their upkeep and do it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Upkeep, discard, Prismatic Strands. If they want to target it with something at instant speed now, I'm fine with just discarding another card. I can deal with that. But now I can flash this back. Yeah, I quite like this line. This might be a very good. So now, even if they do find a way to get around this, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So they basically can't do anything this turn at all. That was pretty much, bar drawing the card and potentially making a land drop. That's essentially a 0 mana time walk. Which is gotta suck for our opponent, not gonna lie. And I think we win here. Yeah, I think we win. I don't think there's a way for them to protect. Are they counter target blue spell? I'll dispel. Let's see if that does anything. Yeah, got there. Nice one. So, essentially, to anyone that didn't spot this, target creature gains shadow until end of turn, so it can block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. So, their creature doesn't have shadow, so it can't block. We then discard all these cards after casting Inside Out. We attack for 25 damage, potentially. Yeah, pretty decent. Pretty decent. I'm really enjoying this deck. I did not expect to be enjoying this deck as much as I am. But it's a lot of fun. It is an awful lot of fun. It's like a little puzzle, sort of. Like a weird puzzly control thing. Quite liking it. Would I like to play first? Oh, you betcha. Oh, you betcha. Leading with Mystic Sanctuary always kind of stinks, but it's better than going turn 1 Preordained, turn 2 nothing. So I'm going to keep. I'm going to lead on Mystic Sanctuary. Never feels good to do that, but you know what? It's fine. It's a land. We'll get there. Sorry, I got to remove that upkeep stop. I always find it really annoying when other streamers, when any content creator for that matter, but you mostly see it in streaming. When someone's playing a Magic Online and they've set an upkeep stop for like the previous deck they were playing with or previous video or whatever or game, and they forget to remove it or don't remove it, and you're like, can you just please stopping on upkeep or like, you know, beginning a combat on your own turn or whatever it is. It's always really annoying. Inside Out. We got Inside Out. Okay, so we have 2 of the pieces here that we need. I'm glad we're not going up against other decks like discard heavy decks, because this would be awful if it was. Curse of the Pièce Taught. Yes, that's fine. Put me on a very slow clock. I'm okay with this. Except sure. I'm gonna yield to this because I don't see me not yielding to it at any point. Alright, time to Preordain. Make me hit a land, maybe. Not quite the land I wanted, but you know what? It'll do. That's only for control matchups. This will do. I will. I'll attack and I'll just hold it up. I could have a Dispel. They don't know that. I could also be one of like 10 different decks right now. I haven't given anything away. If I cycle Ash Barrens, it implies that I am, if I'm not mistaken, Fairy Delver or Fairy Scred is not running Ogre Bolus anymore. What? They're running Desert? Is this like a mono red control? Because if so, that's sweet. It is! It is! It's a mono red control deck. Oh, this is sick. This is really sick. I really like this. This also actually just, now that I look at it, now that I've bottomed my, oh my god, now that I've bottomed my, what's it called? Gigadress, I basically can't beat a desert. Well, fuck my life. Very well played, opponent. Very well played. Yeah, they saw. Welcome, El. How's it going? Okay, so yep. Let's go with the planes, and I guess we're on the Seeker of the Way plan. It's not ideal, but let's get it going, I guess. Was that a stupid idea? I think it was. Feels like it was dumb. Yeah, screw it. Let's get a point of damage in. A Murder of Ashes on a desert is surprisingly hard to get through, particularly for this deck. This feels like, oh, they did see Inside Out. They did. You're right. Omen of the Forge. Yeesh. Alright, well, I'm gonna try protect it if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Shadow Rift this. Glad to see Tribe. Yeah, it's sweet. This is actually the first time I've played it since the Gush Gip Open Days ban, and I thought it would be crap. I was looking at like Whiteout and stuff, and I'm like, this seems like any excuse to keep the deck alive. But really, it's actually very good. I've been really impressed by it. Really impressed. To be honest, yeah, no, I've actually seen this kind of deck before. I've seen a mono red control. It's kind of like Pauper's answer to Scred, in a way. Like they play stuff like Beetleback Chief. Like it's weird, but it's really cool. And they do have some of their main win cons as Curse of the Pierced Heart. They have like 4 main deck Martyr of Ashes, 4 deserts, bunch of removal. Like it eventually just gets there. Let me see if I can bring up the list actually, because I do have it. I have a Pauper deck database somewhere. Yeah, mono red control. Here we go. Sorry, I'll just let them take. I'll take my turn and then I'll show you the list. The list that I have runs Quicksand instead of Desert, but it's basically the same kind of. So I kind of feel like, because we're not on the tribe plan here, I think I'm just gonna cast this. I don't want to do it in Augur Bolus because the desert will just kill it. And they can't currently Martyr of Ashes because they've tapped down low enough. So yeah, I'll bring up the list now. It's one that 5-0'd like a year ago one time. But it's real cool. It's a really sweet deck. I'm gonna attack with everything here. If they want to throw away their Murder of Ashes in what seems like a completely fruitless act, that is fine by me. But yeah, so I'll pass it over. So here is the deck that I believe they're playing. So they have 3 Martyr of Ashes, 4 Beetleback Chiefs, so 4 mana 2/2s to ETB make 2 Goblin tokens. Got 4 Firebolt, 4 Flame Slash, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Magma Jet, 3 Arc Lightning, 4 Stagger Shock, a Fissure, Pristine Talismans, and Curse of the Pierced Heart. It's a silly deck, but it's also really sweet because I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for it, because it is a deck that to me is really cool, because one of the first decks I play, actually the first deck that I built, was it first? No, second deck. First deck I built in Modern was Abzan Rights. The second deck was Scred, and followed by Dragon Scred, which wasn't as good, but it was there. Okay, so we can't really do anything here, so I'm just gonna play an island and pass the turn. Yeah, I actually can't do anything. Weird. Yeah, the deserts are holding up. They're doing real well. We're gonna find it very hard to push through that. Yeah, like they're just gonna have like magma jets and bolts and stuff here. Actually, the Omen of the Forge probably replaced. Actually, would they have replaced magma jet? No, they wouldn't have. They would have replaced something else, I imagine, because magma jet kind of just does the same as both. If you know what I mean. So like Omen of the Forge just flash in. Like if you're just using it for the 2 damage and scry 2, then Magma Jet's just a better card for it. But if you're using it to abuse the permanent, which the deck that our opponent's on doesn't, I would imagine it is used in conjunction with Magma Jet. Otherwise, they're just being incredibly mana inefficient. Which, if that's what they want to be, that's fine too. Okay, so I'm going to Shadow Rift the Seeker. We can still win this. We can absolutely still win this. We just kind of need to get a little bit lucky. That's all. But isn't that most games of Magic anyway? So
I feel like I've heard you say, we can still win this so many times in my life.
Leanne, in case you can't hear it, Leanne's over here saying that she feels I've said that a million times already in my life. Yeah. We can still do this. We can still win this. It's fine. It's fine. Really didn't want another circular logic there. It's garbage right now. But you know what? I'm actually good with attacking with both, because if they want to block with the Martyr of Ashes and lose it, and then double blop with the desert, that's cool too. The way that we get blown out here is if they reveal 3 red cards, which is likely, to Martyr of Ashes and just wipes the board. But I'm kind of fine with that too. We've got a big hand, and then we'll know what they have. So yeah, you know what? I'm feeling the counter spell here. Bring back that Mystic Sanctuary. Yes. Now they have to respond to this if they want to deal any kind of proper damage to the Seeker of the Way, which they didn't, and it's 4 power. Which means that this turn is probably a little wasted for them, which I'm pretty happy about. That's what you tell yourself all the time. Good to know I'm not alone. It's still cool. We got this. Oh, they tapping the deserts. This is the turn to pop the Martyr of Ashes. Yeah. That's pretty fair, to be honest. I'm not gonna auto yield to that. Yeah, that's okay. Our circular logics are basically just hard counters now, though, so I'm kind of okay with this. Yeah, I'm okay with just keeping the board clear at this point. So we're technically on a 9-turn clock now, because we can't regain life with Seeker because Seeker's gone. This is gonna be a tough one, a really tough one. The 2 deserts here are back-breaking. Actually, no, hold on a second. They're not. They're an end of combat step. I'm a fool. I'm an absolute fool. Alright, well. Still, we kind of need to draw something good. We're flooding in a 19 land deck. I think I'm... problem here is that I won't be able to rebuy this Mystic Sanctuary if I don't get the Deprive back, but the Deprive will only just counter something and will just delay it by a turn and not really develop anything. So I think I'm actually going to go for a Preordained on top, which feels really terrible, to be honest. Yeah, put a Preordained on top. At least help us find something. The fact that they had another Martyr was kind of rough, but we'll see. Yeah, Quicksand is better against Tribe. Way better against Tribe, because it kills it before damage. Desert kills it after damage. So I think Quicksand is just a better card in this scenario. Especially when the entire deck is just full of removal. So I am fine with doing that because I can now discard this. Give it +4 +0/+4 until end of turn. If they want to respond with a bolt, I'm very fine with just discarding another card because I don't see why not. Yep, this seems okay to me. Damage based removal on this is very kind of hilarious, to be honest. So they've basically emptied their hand, and they've no real good way to refill either. And by doing this, this also means that if their last card is another counter or is another removal spell, they're not able to deal enough damage to this now to kill it. So that's nice. So our hand is dead. We're drawing a Preordained. I need to get, in order for us to get back into this, we need to draw a Tragic Lesson. That's what we need to draw, and fast, because we're slowly dying over here. So we need to cast this now. We need a Tragic Lesson more than anything else. So we need to bottom this. We need to bottom this. God damn it. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? May as well swing for one. Get in there. Pass turn. Ah, jeez. Yep, that's not great. Not great. They got another curse. No, Beetleback Chief. If it's a Beetleback Chief, we're in trouble. That's a lot of oh, it's the Underworld Rage Hand. Sure. Yeah, that's a, well, actually, I'm gonna discard this. I'll counter it. Boop. I know that puts us down a card, but it also, like, how many do they have to do? 3 other cards? So they can only do it one more time. And they have to spend their entire next turn doing it as well. I'm kind of alright with that. It's a reasonable trade, I suppose. Tragic Lesson. No! I don't even know why I played that. Just instinctively I did. I'm not a fool. I'm not going to attack into an open desert. Sorry, I keep talking about desert, but it's not particularly obvious what desert does. Desert taps for colorless. Or you can tap it to deal 1 damage to target attacking creature. You can activate this ability only during the end of combat step. So it's kind of how that goes. So it's real good against a lot of things. I played the mono blue desert control a while ago, but I think in that deck that the opponent has, I think Quicksand is just better. But okay, yeah, so they have this. So one of the worst things that we could draw right now would be like Brainstorm or another land. This is a hell of a clock, though. Oh my god, it's on their fucking land. Okay, how many lands have we got left? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've 7 lands left in the deck, and to be on the safe side, I'm gonna play and crack this. And get a plains. Now we've got like no lands left in our deck, basically. So over to our opponent. This is an interesting matchup. Like they're both considered fringe decks, but theirs is certainly more fringe. I've played against this a whole 1 time before. I didn't think Underworld Rage Hound would have that big of an impact on it, but seems like it's enough. So yeah, looks like we're not going to win this one if we find a way to deal with this Rage Hound. Some sort of crazy lands hybrid, yeah. This feels like a Beetleback Chief, yep. Yeah, that's basically the door closed on this game for us. So, Beetleback Chief's 4 mana 2/2, ETB, make 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. And then they decide to Flame Slash. Yeah, you know what? Let's just concede. There's no one card that we can draw that'll get us out at that point, even with near infinite mana. Okay, so poster board. Well, the Bebs are great. The Hydroblast is great. I'm not against Piracy Charm. It seems weird, but I'd consider it. I would consider it. Tathmos High Priest is most definitely coming in. Let me look at that list again and just check. They do not have that many. Maybe they do. It's kind of 50-50. I think leaving the 2 Dispels in is good. I don't think adding 2 more will be any use. I could see an argument for Leave No Trace because one of their main win conditions is in fact Curse of the Pierce Heart. So maybe we just go like real dirtly. Go real dirtly. We can add Prismatic Strands and everything. Additional beaters maybe. I feel like we need to go down on some of the combo here. I feel like the combo is just not going to work particularly well in this matchup. I'm just going to go down a few of the pieces because I feel we're going to just have a bad time with it. These all seem fine. Giga Drow's probably unnecessary, but they do have the desert, so maybe cut like 8 lands. Yeah. I could see cutting a Circular Logic, especially if we're bringing the Strands in, because that's essentially what it does. Prismatic Strands is essentially counterspell. I can actually see us going down a Dispel in place of like the Hydroblast, say. Need to cut one more. It's probably a Circular Logic, to be honest. These all just seem like much better options here. So I think let's go with that, maybe? Maybe? I would love to play first. Love it. Okay, so whiteout is kind of basically this is a 6 card hand without the combo, so this feels bad. The piece that we have to help dig 4 combo pieces doesn't find the piece that we're missing, which is the creature, Tireless Tribe. So I think we need to mulligan this. This hand is so close. If this had blue in it, if this was an island instead of a plains, I would snap this up. But it's not. But if we go down much further, we pretty much can't win. Oh god. Okay, sure. Let's keep this. Let's keep this. Have I taken a look at the full Ikoria spoiler yet? Yes, I have, and we can have a chat about that after this game if you want. So I'm keeping the Terramorphic Expanse, the Snow-Covered Plains, the Tireless Tribe, the shit. What are we doing? I'll get rid of Dispel for sure. That's fine. I also think the Ogrobos. I think Preordained is just a little bit better. You know what? I'm just gonna crack this now. Screw it. Yeah, go get a play island and pass. Yeah, there's some cool things in the Ikoria spoilers, for sure. Okie dokie. What do we get? 2 Tireless Tribe, 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 Okay, we're going Preordained. Make it look like we're looking for lands. Not saying we're not, but make it look like it. I feel like both of these are just not the pieces we need right now. Hey, it's that it's that card I bottomed. Yeah, I don't feel the need to put out Tribe yet and run the risk of having to constantly defend it by discarding cards. I think just the turn before we're gonna try and win is probably the best time to do it. I really feel like the sideboard of this should... Oh god, that's awful. I'm actually going to give this Shadow to draw another card. Sure. Awkward, clunky draws. And a desert. Nice. Yeah. It seems like it might be a bit rough. Pristine Talisman. Yep. This is pretty much how I drew it up earlier. Yep, they go in combat. Okay. Ooh, hello. I like the idea of just jamming Tribe and saying go. Also good. Discarding Circular Logic. Madness. I will pay it. Bolt. Dispel. I guess it didn't really matter if we allowed that to resolve or not, but I will cast on this. Pay the blue. Yep. And it gets +0/+4, which now means that if they try to attack, we would... Yeah, I'm good with this. I'm good with blocking here. I'm not aware of anything in their deck that they could have that will deal 2 damage now. Or even give -2/-2 for that matter. So... I'm gonna have to do this. Which I'm not a fan of, but... I'll return a... Island? Yeah, I'll return an island. And... Honestly, I don't think I replay it. I think I keep it in hand. Because if they try and use a removal spell on Tribe again, all I have to do is discard Prismatic Strands, and then if they try to use another removal spell in response, I can just tap Tireless Tribe for activation of Prismatic Strands. Yeah, seems good. Yeah. Firebolt. Yeah, so I'm going to discard to that. Prismatic Struts. Okay. Are they going to try and do something again? Maybe? No? Maybe? Flame Slash. Sure. Okay. Well. Guess I'll flash this back. Pro red. Well, it's not pro, but... Well, kind of is. Is there a way that we can win this turn? It's unlikely, but possible. I think it starts with that Brainstorm. Oh, that's tough. So next turn they can bring back the Underworld Rage Hound. We fade a turn of damage, and then we attack. I'm putting back a Seeker and the Plains, and I'm cycling Ash Barrens. Getting another island. I think I'm playing this island in case they do anything ridiculous. I can Giga Drowse on end step and tap something. But honestly, they could have a lot of things that could cause us problems here. We kind of need another Shadow Rift soon. What are they paying for? Beetleback Chief. Yep, there it is. Okay, sure. If we draw Shadow Rift, I think we win. Hey, Smitty Puff. Welcome along, bud. And stuff. Okay. How do I do this garbage? Cycle Ash Barrens with the Plains. Go get another island, I guess. Play island. Yeah. So things are more difficult now because they keep tapping the Pristine Talisman to gain them life. That's part of my problem now, and that's what I need to get around. Yeah, I've been okay, working away, doing stuff. I'm an idiot. I forgot that they can actually block. I was paying too much attention to more than one thing. Sure. I'll have to discard this island then, I guess, don't I? I'll pretend I was shortening my clock, or their clock, or whatever. It's fine. Don't know why I just instinctively thought that they couldn't block, despite the fact that goblins don't inherently lose the ability to block. Oh well. Makes no sense, but there you go. Okay, 2 Pristine Talismans is going to be a very tough call. This feels like it's going to be a rough game. Yeah, combat. They're pretty safe to attack, yet they're not. Okay. Preordained is fine. Let's get that going. I think I'm bottoming both. I'm drawing another inside out. Okay. So I think I'm playing Secret of the Way here. This protects against Firebolt, but not a whole lot else. Or it is protected against Firebolt. Because if they flash it back, I can use a Giga Dress to save it. Not the best use of it at all, but better than no use, I guess. Everything I do, yeah, it's calculated mistake. It's fine. Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah. So we, yeah. I don't know how we get past additional 3 life a turn. Who knew that repeatable healing salve was good? It is a Gorillaz Cowboy Bebop mashup shirt, which is pretty sweet. That I can't protect against. That's unfortunate. What the hell do I do here? Being in combat. Yes. Another tribe. These draws have just been pretty atrocious in this match. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I could waste a bunch of resources and kill a bunch of stuff on board, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, I can attack with this Tireless Tribe, cast Inside Out, and then discard a card and kill, like, the Goblin token. Like, that seems terrible. Seems really bad. Yeah, I guess we're just passing turn. Merchant of the Veil. Yeah, that's also fine. That's an interesting inclusion, actually, because yeah, they can just churn away excess lands or useless things. It's interesting that they're running fine on 2 red sources. I would have expected this to be not good for them, but they seem to be doing okay. Yeah, see, like, I'd be getting much more aggressive if I was my opponent. Like, there's very little chance that I have of actually winning this game from this point. But I still have a chance, so I kind of keep going. Turn off the auto yields. In case it's, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so they're going to very quickly, with this Merchant of the Veil, they're going to very, very quickly draw into pieces they need to grind me out, basically. Yep, that's not bad. That is not bad. Never tell me the odds. Never tell me the odds. Yeah, opponents should be flunging right now. They should be like, they should be turning their entire board sideways. There's very little that I can do to actually stop any of this, because the thing is, if I had the pieces to be able to deal with what's on, to be able to deal with what's on board, I would have just won the game instead. But because I'm not, it's really implying that I can't do anything. Like, I can make pretty damn sure that this Tireless Tribe doesn't die at some point, but that's about the extent of it. They have 2, 4, 7, 8 power on board. Yeah, they should be swinging with reckless abandon right now. I know the likes of combo decks like Tireless Tribe or there's similar decks like Infect and that kind of thing are very scary to actually just turn sideways in front of. But I mean, yeah, they should just be doing, like, this feels real bad for us. If they start flunging now, they're still not. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I think I'll take 5. I'm gonna take another one. Yeah, I mean, like, they're gonna win next turn anyway. Does not do anything for us. It just helps us find Inside Out or White Out, or yeah. No, there's not much we can really do here. Yeah, I think we're better off just going to. Yeah, there's nothing we could do there. We're just dead. Absolutely dead. All right, let's take a quick look at the spoilers and the full spoiler. And just have a quick chat about stuff that stands out, because it's been a few days since I've been on here talking about it, so it does mean that I have to go back a little bit. I'm going to probably skip over some stuff. Let's be real, because the last time I was on and talking about these, it was a Monday. Like, a lot's happened since then. An awful lot has happened since then. We were definitely talked about these. I remember talking about the Sea Dash Octopus and stuff, and these were kind of cool. I would like to also just point out, okay, the art on the Forbidden Friendship here, right? I get it. The story's cute and everything. That's fine. However, have you seen this? What is this art about? The other ones look fine. Like, this is like, oh no, my friend, oh help me, and then, like, they're fine, and it's like, oh, we're together and we're happy, right? This one, it just looks like, I don't know, some cheesy 70s romance movie or something. It's like, hello, don't worry, dinosaur, I am your friend. It just seems real cheese, like. Skinny on the commons. It's there's some good ones. There are some good ones. Okay, so yeah, I'll just sort of I will be going through the remaining spoilers, but I will point out the ones that I think are going to have any kind of impact in any kind of format. Cupboarding, I think, is going to be cool, probably in a standard life gain deck. Probably not top tier, but you know, it'll be okay. It reminds me an awful lot of Regal Caracal, which, to any eagle-eyed people out there, you'll notice up here there's an art print of Regal Caracal, signed by the artist that Leon got. Oh my god, state of my hair. I need a haircut so bad. We all do. We all need haircuts. Leon got it at a GP. It was a GP back then, not a Magic Fest. But yeah. So it reminds me of Regal Caracal because when it mutates, create 2 cat tokens with lifelink. So I'm not going to go into a big spiel on Lurrus because people have written articles on Lurrus already. They've made videos on Lurrus, how it's broken, how it's going to ruin Legacy, just like Underworld Breach did, yada 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 yada. No, that's fine. Sure. I really think that this is a card that has been massively overlooked. Stream drop? Where? Is there a drop? Oh, I think it's on your side. Owl, I think. But hopefully your stream's okay. Maybe do a refresh if you can hear me. But I really feel like Blitz of the Thunder Raptor has been massively overlooked. Massively overlooked. To the point that this is going in my mono red prowess sideboard in Modern, replacing Dismember. This is silly. Has anyone read this card? Like, I feel like no one has seen this card. Everyone sort of saw Lurrus and went, Jesus, and freaked out, and then didn't realize that this is actually a stupid card. This is 2 mana instant, deal damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. If it dies, exile it instead. This is a way for red based decks like is it Delver kind of strategies or those kind of things, or the prowess, the prowess decks and stuff, to be able to deal with things greater than 5 toughness. So up until now, if you needed to deal with stuff with 5 toughness, you used Dismember or you used Magmatic Sinkhole. This beats both of them. Like, this goes over both of them. And instead of having to actually exile the cards like Magmatic Sinkhole, it just does it. It's 1 mana more technically if compared to the maximum delve that you can do, but this is nuts. This is really, really good. This has been massively overlooked and will be used to kill Titans and Karns and Ugins and stuff for quite some time. Moving on, Weaponize the Monsters is real good. 1 mana for and 1 red for an enchantment. Pay 2, sacrifice a creature, deal 2 damage to any target. That's real good. It's Goblin Bombardment that's been fixed, essentially, or Siege Gang Commander's activated ability that doesn't die through simple creature removal, which is quite good. After that, we've Essence Symbiote as one of the commons here. 2 mana, 2/2 beast. Whenever a creature you control mutates, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and gain 2 life. However, this feels like it's a little loose. So, like, for example, if you have this out and you're going to mutate something else and they go in response, kill the Essence Symbiote, you just don't get that value at all. Or they could just kill the other creature. But I don't know. We'll see. Jubilant Skybonder is probably going to show up in a budget deck in Standard, I would say. Like Blue-White Skies. Because it's sort of a Lord, technically, in a way. Creatures you control with flying have spells your opponents cast. The target of this creature costs 2 more to cast. So removal is more expensive against them, which is pretty good. Fight as 1 is like one of the best pump spells ever printed for feather decks, Boros feather decks, because a lot of, for example, in Pioneer, the creature spread is roughly 12 humans. Sorry. Sudden yawn. 12 humans, 7 non-humans, 19 creatures total. That implies that this will be very good. Because you'll often be able to use both modes. Heartless Act, one of the best Doomblades ever printed. I quite like Reptilian Reflection, and I'm definitely going to be building a cheap deck around cycling payoffs, for sure. I don't understand how a Nightmare Squirrel is mono white, but anyway. Garrison Cat's the worst Doom Traveler that's ever been printed, I think. I don't think it can actually get any worse than this. But it's still perfectly fine, so whatever. There's not a whole lot else here. I like the art on Keatsite Mentor, if you can see it over my head here. Little monkey head. Zenith Flare is a big one. 4 mana instant, deal X damage to any target and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with a cycling ability in your graveyard. It's pretty good. Scrolling on up, Giganta the Wellspring is far too easy to include in nearly any deck. I'm not sure I like it. The ultimatums, look, I'm not going to go on a mad spiel on the ultimatums. A lot of these are going to be mostly focused on Commander, and they're pretty much all very good for it too. A lot of people complaining that the Jeskai one is really, really bad because it's deal 5 damage, draw 5 cards, gain 5 life, and everyone's laughing, being like, "Oh, that's so low impact." Do people forget that drawing 5 cards is a really fucking good thing? Like, I'm sure it's hard to cast, but you're going to kill something. You're going to gain some life. That's probably the most incidental part. But drawing 5 cards is nuts. Drawing 5 cards is really nuts. A bunch of them are also just real broken. Like Eerie Ultimatum, really? Any number of permanent cards with different names? That's just dumb. It's just real dumb. Narset is really, really good. Narset is going to see playing standard. She's probably going to force some sort of Jeskai control shell. Or kind of weird cycling control shell. I don't know. She seems a bit weird, but as a plus to gain life, it feels like that's gonna kind of cause problems for aggro decks. However, with that said, there's going to be a lot of slower decks now because of the mana bases and stuff, but however. Song of Creation, I think, is going to be broken. People are already convinced that they have it broken already. In case you can't see it behind my head there, it's 1 and Temur colors for an enchantment. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you cast a spell, you draw 2 cards, and at the beginning of your end step, you discard your hand. So, yeah, just fill your deck with like 0 cost things. Win the game with the Tassa's Oracle. Like that, it's that simple, really. Not a whole lot else to point out here. Another ultimatum. It's pretty good for EDH specifically. Kahira's a nice one that you can add to tribal decks. Zerda the Dawnwaker is fucking adorable. So is Offspring's Revenge, actually. I really like this card. A lot of the art in this set is actually fantastic. Really fantastic. Here's one. Here's 2 that stood out to me. The commons. Of One Mind. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Draw 2 cards. That's divination. But it costs 2 less to cast if you control both a human creature and a non-human creature. So the deck that this would probably do best with are like the mono blue Delver decks, because you run yawn again. I don't know what's going on. You run at least 8 humans with the 4 Ninja, the Deep Airs, and the 4 Delver of Secrets, and all the remaining cards are non-human. So it's not really that hard to like throw 1 or 2 of these into the deck, and then sometimes just have a 1 mana draw. It's 2/3 of an Ancestral Recall. for little to no setup. Or like worst case scenario, like divination is not god awful. Like it's perfectly fine, you know. So, but also fire prophecy. I did not think that this would show up for or account for much at all in Pauper, but it makes perfect sense when I was talking to Alex Ullman about it. Fire prophecy, 1 and a red for an instant, deal 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library, and if you do, draw a card. If you don't know Alex Ullman, he's very, very big in Pauper scene, one of the sort of the authorities on the format. I was like, is this going to actually see any play? Like, I can't think of much of an application for this, trying to find a way to, like, you know, break that weird little tuck draw thing. But he made a very good point, is that it basically kind of replaces itself, because a lot of the time you're going to be putting a land to the bottom of your library and just churning to find more gas. This helps non-Prism and Skyfisher decks actually sort of cycle through and keep that card flow going. And I think that's probably a very astute kind of observation of this. I think that's actually where we're going to see it, and it's probably going to show up more than I'm giving it credit for, I think, right now. Like that mono red control deck that we just faced, probably gonna just run 4 of these, you know. Seems pretty good. Then we got a bunch of cards. This says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. It's pretty good. I'm really enjoying this one. This is Slither Wisp. It is, where's it gone? Blue black for a 3/2 elemental nightmare with flash, and whenever you cast another spell with flash, you draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. Now that to me is a very interesting design on a Lord effect in a way, because you're technically +1/+1ing your creatures technically, but it's in the form of life loss and card draws and stuff instead. So I quite like that idea. I quite like that. It also, the art is really sick and it's a pretty good creature. My only concern is that it's black casting cost. If that was blue black, I'd be like, this is insane. This is real good. Flash is real heavy on blue, like real heavy on blue. You want to be able to potentially like turn 2 petty theft, turn 3 brazen borrower. Like that's a perfectly fine line to take. Excuse me. But yeah, the double black, not entirely convinced just yet. Anything else here? Yeah, there's the Jessica Ultimatum. I'm gonna be sick of Kin and Bonder Prodigy. I'm just gonna say it now. Gonna be sick of this by the end of this standard rotation. There's just too much consistency and power in the Simic ramp strategies right now that yeah, it's not gonna be great. Not gonna be great. One thing I am excited for though, however, is Lead the Stampede is back in standard and now in Pioneer. So I look forward to seeing how this will impact the format. Will elves be good in Pioneer? I've honestly, it's quite a fringe deck in Pioneer, but I have played against it, and a friend of mine does play it, and they win games for sure. Because they know it inside out. You know, it's like one of those things, like the old adage with Modern. Like if you know your deck inside out, you can still win games. You can still pick up tournaments if you're well positioned or whatever at the time. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, then look, I had a bit of a tirade on Twitter last night about the tri-lands, the tricycle lands. And yes, they're called tricycle lands. We're not calling them, what do they call them? Tango Battle Lands? No. We're not calling them Tango Battle Lands. We're calling these tricycle lands. They're tricycles. The 2 colors were bicycle lands. These are tricycles. So they enter the battlefield tapped, are 3 land types and cycle for 3 mana. They're ridiculous. Honestly, they're ridiculous. And like they're great for the likes of Commander and all that stuff. Absolutely brilliant. The tirade that I went on is that they force they enable a type of strategy that I personally do not like at all, which is sort of 4 and 5 color good stuff. It just, there's no creativity in deck building in that sense. At that point, if you're just running all the best cards in every color, like, what's the point? You know, you have to have some sort of restriction. Bonder's Enclave taps for colorless, or you can pay 3 and tap it to draw a card, but only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So that's kind of cool. Then we're on to basic lands. Also in the packs are the gain lands, which is fantastic for limited. Also, for Pauper, there are some new arts. Like, I really like the new Tranquil Cove, despite the fact that I never normally play blue-white. I really like the Swiftwater Cliffs, because as an Izzet Mage, these look sick. Scar Barons also looks great. The use of the light and stuff is real sweet. Yeah, the Evolving Wilds looks real nice too. That's probably one of my more favorite Evolving Wilds, gotta say. Yeah, so we're kind of into the chaff that I was sifting through. The Sky Nomad not particularly good. I'm not really going to go into it too much. It's not particularly impactful or fantastic. I think Sleeper Dart might be half decent. Maybe, and only because it replaces itself. So it's 2 colorless for an artifact, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. That by itself is fine. You tap it and sacrifice Sleeper Dart to have target creature not untap in its next untap step. So it's not particularly impactful for Pauper, to be perfectly honest. It's not particularly impactful. But the fact that it replaces itself on ETB, you probably will run like 1 and get away with it in a main deck somewhere in a color when you're light on removal or something, you know. Noting that it doesn't actually tap the creature. It just stops it from untapping. So I don't know. Maybe not. This is a 5 mana 3/3 with flash. Is in colorless. No, it's kind of poor. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna hate this ultimatum. I already hate very heavily permanent based Magic. That's why I kind of like Pauper and stuff, because a lot of it is stack based as well as the battlefield. There's a mix. Whereas this it's look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest to your hand, and then exile this. So you just fill your deck with like a 4 Genesis Ultimatum and all permanents, which is not ridiculous because, for example, bar the 4 Agonizing Remorse in Jund Food that sometimes shows up, the entire rest of the deck is permanent cards. So Survivor's Mond's not great. Sudden Spinneret's not great. Ram Through. This is the one I was talking about earlier. 1 and a green for an instant. Deal damage. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control, and if the creature you control is trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So we already have fight spells in Mono Green Stompy in Pauper, but this might be good as maybe a one-off because it's still an instant speed fight effect. 2 mana is not the worst, but a bunch of your creatures will have trample because you have the likes of Rancor. So yeah, maybe it seems a little fringe, like help fill up a flex spot or something, but perhaps. This is one of my favorite arts on Plummet I've ever seen. Ivy Elemental's cool. Humble Naturalist, 2 mana 1/3, tap mana of any color, only to cast a creature spell. I can see this going in a lot of commander decks, like budget commander decks and stuff. Not really anywhere else. It's not even an elf, it's a human. So Greater Sandworm's been reprinted, which does occasionally see some fringe play in Pauper, because it cycles and then you can also just, exhume it or whatever, and that's cool. What else we got? Flycatcher Giraffid, sorry. It either has Reach or Vigilance. Honestly, I don't see it being used. 5 mana, it's expensive. 3 mana for a 3/3 with trample, and when an ETB is put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, might maybe see some play, maybe. Still dies to bolt, which I know is a dumb argument, but maybe it could be okay, but not in high numbers at all. It might be in like Tortured Existence style decks, but we shall see. Adventurous Impulse reprint, and the art is quite nice. Here's one that I think might see play, and that's Spell Eater Wolverine. 3 mana for a 3/2 Wolverine, and it has double strike as long as there are 3 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. I can get on board with that. For sure. it's not hard to pay. It's not hard to get that payoff. It costs as much as a what's it called? A Nivik Cyclops to cast. It's more susceptible to removal because of the 2 toughness, but it might be good enough, maybe. I very much like Rumbling Rock Slide, to be honest, as maybe like a 1 of or maybe 2 of in like a slower kind of deck. But it's 4 mana for a sorcery, deal damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control, which is pretty good. There's also Raking Claws, 1 in a red for an instant. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn and cycling 2. So instead of Temur Battle Rage, it has Ferocious and gives Trample. This can cycle. So there are going to be some decks that would probably prefer this, but I still think Battle Rage is probably a little bit better. Yeah, the Pyroceratops here is a 4 mana 2/3 with Trample, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a counter on it. I don't think it's good enough, to be honest. Other similar, better costed cards haven't seen play, so... Prickly Marmosets. This might actually be good. Maybe. Because whenever you cycle a card, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn and has first strike. So... my main problem here is the 3 toughness. Again, I know it's dumb to be like dies to removal, but Bolt is really popular in Pauper. So Lava Serpent, despite being 6 mana, I kind of like it, mostly because you can cycle it away. You know, if you're playing against an opponent with counterspell and stuff, you're not really going to ever have an opportunity to cast Lava Serpent and have it resolve. So you just cycle away and just try and find something else. You know, so I'm kind of okay with it. Height Reflex is not great. Frenzy Raptor is bad. Ferocious Tigerilla is a great name, but it's also not great. Bitterspit Gremlin. This nearly made me lose my mind. If it didn't have a pay to activate option, this would be insane. This will be copies 5 through 8 of Thermal Alchemist. So glad that's not the case. Blazing Volley, 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. We've seen this before. It's a reprint from Amonkhet? No. Air Devastation. One of them. Unlikely Aid we've seen. Hasn't seen any plays. Not great. Unexpected Fangs, also not great. Suffocating Fumes is probably the best one of these that we've seen. So I can see me putting this as a 1 of in a main deck of Mono Black Control, because 2 and a black for an instant that gives creatures your opponents control -1/-1. That means it doesn't affect your creatures. It's instant speed instead of sorcery like Shrivel and stuff is, and it can also cycle for 2. I'm definitely in on this. This will see impact. This will see some impact for sure. After that, we've got Whisper Squad. I quite like Whisper Squad, actually. Let me just bring these bad boys up here. Again, I think this might be a little tool for something like Mono Black Control. And it doesn't seem like much, but it might actually be. It's 1 black for a 1/1 human soldier. But it does have an activated ability. 1 and a black, so it's instant speed activation. Search your library for a card named Whisper Squad. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. And then shuffle your library. That's great. That's real good. Like, you could just sit there with your, you know, turn 1, you can just play this, whatever. It's no big deal. It's a blocker, it's an attacker, it's whatever. And then whenever you don't have much else to do, and they're not really going to bother removing this, they're going to be like, whatever. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Nobody cares. So you can just later on just use this as a mana sink and be like, pay, you know, just get all 4 out, you know. Seems like a great card, to be honest. Seems very low impact, and I think honestly people are going to underestimate this. And yes, I know dies to Elect Trickery and dies to literally every piece of removal in the format, but for the decks that they don't run that main deck, it's pretty good. I quite like it a lot. We then have I like Serrated Scorpion quite a bit in the Aristocrat style decks. 1 black for a 1/2 scorpion, so it's decent stats anyway. But when it dies, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Sorry, 2 damage to each opponent, you gain 2 life. I'm fine with that too. It's pretty good. It's a nice little additional payoff for sacrifice and stuff. Night Squad Commando is fine. It's 3 mana for a 2/3, and if you attack this turn, it's basically got raid. Create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, so it's 2 bodies for 3 mana. It's 3 power, 4 toughness across 2 bodies. Maybe it's good enough. The fact that it's a little bit conditional might be a problem. But moving on, we have Mutual Destruction, which is sweet. But it's 1 black mana for a sorcery. This spell is flash, as long as you control a permanent with flash. And as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature. So this is Bone Splinters, but it has flash if something you own has flash. Or something you control has flash. Which is pretty good. It's probably not any better than like Bone Shards, but or Spark Harvest for that matter, sorry. Spark Harvest is actually probably better because you can just hard cast it if you've nothing on board. And that still doesn't really see play, so I like Memory Leak a lot as well. I think I'll be putting 1 of this into mono black control. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. Main deck graveyard hate that cycles, or main deck hand hate that cycles. That's also an exile effect. That's real good. Real good. Lurking Deadeye, flash, ETB, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Probably not great. Hunted Nightmare. I like Hunted Nightmare. I know it's a rare, but 3 mana for a 4/5 with Menace. But when it enters the battlefield, target opponent puts a Death Touch counter on a creature they control, which is quite nice. Like Amber said, it's a little mini game that you play, game within a game, and I always love those in when I'm playing my games. Durable Coil Bug, 2 mana for a 2/2 insect, and you pay 5, so 4 and a black, to return Coil Bug from your graveyard to your hand. That activated ability honestly could just be 1 and a black, and it still probably wouldn't see much play. We've Sanitarium Skeleton in Pauper, 1 black for a 1/2, and when when it's in the graveyard, you can pay 2 and a black to have it come back to your hand, and that still sees no play, like at all. Like you would think it would, because it's one of the only things in the format that can do that by itself, be a self-recurring engine. But no, it doesn't. We got a deadweight reprint that the art is comical. We got Dark Bargain. I like this. This is a reprint from Dominaria. 3 and a black for an instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard and have it deal 2 damage to you. This is not shown up in Pauper at all because 4 mana is quite expensive to pay for something like this. We've had better card draw in the past and likely won't have better card draw ever again. So deal with it, I guess, you know. Corpse Churn is next. 1 and a black instant. Top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard. Then return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Again, it's fine. I think we've had this before and I'd seen no play, but it's fine. Boot Nipper, 1 and a black for a 2/1. You either give it Death Touch or Lifelink. No, not playable. Soz. Blitzleech, I don't know. It's 6 mana. If there was a way to reduce the cost, I would be like, yeah, maybe. But 6 mana for a 5/2 with flash, not great. When it enters the battlefield, creature and opponent controls gets -2/-2 until the end of turn. Remove all counters from that creature. There's nothing you really want to be doing in Pauper that this lines up well with at all. So, whatever. I am going to skip through a few things here because this will take a million years. There's still like 80 cards to go, so screw that. I really dislike this Mythos, the blue card. Really don't like it. It feels so off color. It's 2 and 2 blue. For sorcery, you create a token that's a copy of target permanent, so it's whatever it is. If red and a green was spent to cast the spell, instead create a token that's a copy of that permanent, except the token has, when this permanent enters the battlefield, if it's a creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So my first immediate place to put this would be like Temur Wreck in Standard. as like a one-off or something, and that way you can copy your team or wreck, you can copy an opponent's creature and have it fight, or you can do whatever, right? But the fight just feels weird based on the fact that the actual mana cost is blue only, but it conditionally, if you happen to evolve red and green, then it fights. It just seems weird. Now that could just be, me not thinking outside the box and appreciating this or whatever, but we'll see. Starling Development is kind of cool. It's weird. It's kind of cool. It's 1 and a blue for an instant to make something a blue Serpent with power and toughness 4/4, but it cycles for 1. This might just be actually playable in Pauper, but there's no like basic shell that this will be in normally. I don't know. We'll see. I actually really like Hampering Snare for desert control. 1 and a blue instant. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-0 till end of turn with cycling 2. That's real good. Also the next one, Gust of Wind. 3 and a blue for a sorcery, but it costs 2 less if you control a creature with flying. So think the Mono Blue Delver decks or the Scred Fairies decks, that kind of thing. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand and draw a card. So it's kind of like a weird repeal in a way, but it's real cool. Also, Glimmerbell feels like it has weird combo potential. 2 mana for a 1/3 flyer that you could pay 2 mana to untap it. It feels like this is like just a different direction that you can take, like freed from the real combos. So I don't know how this will go, but we'll see. That's no good. That's no good. That's no good. This is no good. This is no good. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot else here. No, we've already have Anticipate, but we've also got Impulse in the format, which is strictly better. Aegis Turtle. Strangely, Aegis Turtle might actually be good, because 1 mana for an 0/5 is pretty ridiculous, but we'll see. Solid Footing might be good in Mono White Heroic, because it's an aura, it gets +1/+1, it's got Flash, and it assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So the Laguna Band Trailblazers would have significantly higher toughness than they would power, which would make Solid Footing much better. So there's that. There is one in particular though that honestly it kind of shocked me when I saw it, and that is Light of Hope. 1 white for an instant, you gain 4 life, or you destroy target enchantment, or you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This surely goes in multiple copies directly into Mono White Heroic, because why would it not? Like, why would you not have this main deck? It procs Heroic, it gains life to help race against burn, and it can blow up enchantments like Oubliette in Mono Black, or Journey to Nowhere, or what's the other relevant thing? Bogles, that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, really, really good. Strangely kind of like main Serval as well, because it's a 2 mana 1/4 with Vigilance. Might just be good as a blocker. We'll see. Divine Arrow is no good. Day Squad Marshal is no good. Coordinated Charge is no good. And Blade Banish is no good. So that's kind of it. That's the whole set spoiled. Whole set spoiled. So overall, I think this has been for most formats, I think this has been really good or really fun or hilarious. For Pauper, it could be a bit better. We've definitely got 1 or 2 new cards to get excited about. I think Black has so many new options. I think Black benefited the most from this, to be perfectly honest, because we now have, where is it? Where am I looking? Serrated Scorpion is a great call. Serrated Scorpion is a great call. Whisper Scud is a great call, and Suffocating Fumes is huge. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it went. Again, could think we could be doing a little bit better, but I can always think that we need to do a little bit more for Pauper and stuff. So I'm very hard to please that way. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. It was quite a bit of a talk about the spoilers and stuff, so kind of took away from playing the deck a little bit. But I'm gonna go get some dinner, get some food into my belly. I don't know about anybody else, but I really feel like the last few weeks being stuck in quarantine or lockdown or whatever you want to call it. To my knowledge, I'm perfectly fine and not affected in any way. But it's basically been just wake up, prepare food, eat food, clean up after food, realize it's time to start preparing food again, and then just repeat the cycle. That's definitely how it's been feeling for me. But hopefully we'll get a handle on this soon, and we'll be all good again. Hopefully soon. Fingers crossed. But that's it from me, everybody, today. Thank you very much for coming along and checking it out. Thank you very much for listening to me spiel for 2.5 hours straight. And yeah, I'm going to sign off here. If you are not yet following me over on Twitter, you can jump over there and do it. You can also jump onto YouTube and check out the VOD that I'll be putting up there either later or tomorrow, which will be this video here. So if you're watching on YouTube, how's it going? Thanks for staying to the end. You're real sound. And yeah, if you want to support me in any other way, you can follow here, you can sub here. There are links below to donations or whatever, and then over on my Twitter, the pinned message also has like donation links, Patreon, coffee, all that kind of stuff as well. So that is it, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend. If you got Final Fantasy VII Remake, I hope you enjoy it. I will be getting it next week, once get some payments through. But yes, enjoy the weekend. We all deserve it. Take it easy. Wash your hands. And yeah, that's it. See you later, everybody.